Hi everybody, Kevin here from Sticks and Stones. Once again with another expressions video. This is the second one in the series to how to make our wood spirits better by adding different expressions. All right. So we're working on a couple of things this week as far as teaching you guys how to make your wood spirits more expressive, and we're going to try to add a little bit more mouths and teeth and different ideas and different ways to make them happy, sad, grumpy, excited, as many things as we can think of that hopefully will help all of us as artists improve our craft. All right, so in this video today, what we're going to do is another one. This one's going to be a little happier since the last one was a little more grumpy. And let's see what we can come up with, and we'll see if we can get another interesting character on the paper. Okay? All right, so I'm going to start with, again, in the middle of the paper, I'm going to try and come down right down the center. This part right here I'm going to look at as the saddle of his nose, all right? And then we're going to make his eyebrows kind of come out like this. Okay, those are going to be eyebrows, all right? And then right from there, we're going to slant the, just put a line like that so we have a slant down. So we get an idea where we're going with this, right? Now we're going to do an eye right here and right there. They don't have to be perfect, okay? Let's make it almost straight across them going here, all right? I'm not making them really big, all right? We don't want to make them super, super big because I find that really tends to give me a little bit more room to make them expressive for some reason. When they're too big, they kind of get a little bit out of control. Hold on here, I got a message. But what we're going to do, or is this not important? What we're going to do is try and make this guy happier, all right, by giving him a smile like in the last video, and we'll kind of tilt it up one way or something to make it a little bit more interesting. Now, right underneath that eye, all right, I'm going to put one small line like that and like that, okay? And we'll definitely put circles down below like that, and that's going to be kind of a bag. All right, now let's follow this nose down a little bit because I do like long noses on these guys. I'm going to hook them like that. And then we're going to bring his nose out this way on both sides. All right, then we'll come up to here and finish it off, and of course down here on the sides we'll form our nostril. Hook this bottom in here, form a little nostril. All right, now from here we're going to give him his cheeks. All right, probably about right here I'm going to start, and I'm just going to hook up a little cheek right here and about here. I tend to like high cheekbones when I have smiley guys, so they're way up, face is kind of closed from the eyes to the cheekbone. There's not really that much. And again, if we were going to use a piece of wood, say it was coming down, and we just put them, we'll give them something like this. All right, we'll really close his face in here. Imagine this would be our tree or our stick or our log or whatever it was going to be. All right, so again, I'll just give them a knot head type look. All right, and this would be a knot, what we're going to carve it on. Okay, now from here I'm just going to put some lines in for eyebrows, and we're going to make them both kind of face at this angle. All right, and then right under these cheeks here, I'm going to come up to here, almost all the way in the corner. I'm going to come down, go across, and kind of angle it like that. Now pick up that corner there, come down, come way over like this, a little off. It's not way down here, it's over to the right here. Well, it's our left, but his right, I guess, if it was his mouth. And then we're going to come all the way up and up like that. Right. This right here is going to be the top part of his inside, the inside of his mouth. Okay. Or the outside of his mouth, I'm sorry. So what we're going to do is come up to that corner where we put this top part of his mouth. Catch that line and come down. Swoop it over. Kind of up. And into the corner on this side, right? This is all going to get colored in black. And we're going to give him some teeth. First, we'll put a little black there, and we'll give him a couple of teeth. Right here. Okay. And maybe a few over here. And we'll color that in black here for effect, for the video. Okay. So we know where we're going with those teeth. Well, now we're going to start a couple of bottom teeth over here. They're going to be really small here. And then they're going to get a little bit bigger and kind of go up on a slant as we go here. And then we're going to go small again for the last one or two. And then we're going to color that in. Right? Right? Good. I like them. Now, we have bags under his eyes. Right? This right here could be a bottom eyelid. These right here are his eyes up here, actually. Right? So let me just show you where his eyes are going to go, because when you're looking at him the way I am, he looks kind of confusing. Right there's going to be one eye. And right here is going to be another eye. Okay? And we'll put little irises in. And they're doing something like that. Okay? Okay. Now, he's looking kind of different. This right here is going to be the other part of his cheek. It's going to kind of come down like this, right? We're going to sweep that down. Actually, this one right here, I might actually sweep down a little too. But, because I would want that to go inside under the wood. I know it doesn't look uniform on the paper, but... And under here, we're going to attach some of this. Okay, well, basically the camera shut off on me when we were over here and we were doing these eyes. But all I did was put a couple of little bags under his eyes, a couple more wrinkles, and I put some beard hair in there, right? So that should be good for the drawing part. Now, let's see if we can get to the next stage. Okay, well, I did find a little chunk of cottonwood bark. I mean, it's small, but I think it'd be good for just putting this little face on it for demonstrations. So, hopefully it'll carve up. What I'm going to do is I'm going to shape it with my knife real quick. And what I want to do is show you guys the technique I use. You see, don't mind my dirty fingers. My fingers are always dirty. Once I'm in the shop, I'm picking stuff up, so I know. Right. What I'm going to do is I'm going to lay my knife on the wood here on the corners. I'm going to kind of shape this into a V, all right, so I can build the face here, because this is pretty much cut into a triangle, but you see the side, it's the way it is. It's about, I don't know, 1.5 inches thick. It's just a little chunk that I found in one of the boxes in my shop. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to round it off, because I want it to come to a point here in the center, and it's a good way to show you how to use your knife. I put my thumb on the wood, right, and with a slicing cut, just like that, I'm just kind of rolling my knife, all right. I'm not pushing like this, all right. I'm keeping my knife and just rocking it, and that's the action I'm going to use to take this down. And I'll cover the picture for the moment, but at least you'll get to see, you know, the technique. All right, so all I'm doing is kind of shaping them down a little bit, taking some of this wood down. All right. And well, this is a hard piece. You could probably carve pretty good. Sometimes you get a piece of cottonwood bark and that just carves like butter. And in the beginning, when you're taking some of this hard stuff off, this bark here, it can get pretty tough. I usually use a pocket knife, but since my knife right here, one of my flex cuts is on the bench, I'm just using that. But I'm trying to shape it to the side, kind of to get it to be high in the middle, and then kind of fan it down on both sides so I can do this carving. So I'm just taking the corners off. All right. Usually I'd use a rough out knife for this, but I'll drop my knife and be fine. So I said, that's why I like these flex cuts. I do everything with them. This is actually a detail knife, not a rough out knife, but at the moment, don't care. I got enough of them. Okay. So that right there will probably be good enough for me to start a face on. All right. As long as he's pretty uniform and he's kind of rounding over to the sides. All right. Again, just rocking my knife. See how I rock it across my thumb here? All right. Flip them chips. And that right there is about what I need. Maybe a little more over here. I'll take down quick. Now you can do this on, let me get rid of that piece. You can use this on anything, this face, but we're going to put them on a little piece of cottonwood. All right. Messed up my picture. This is why I'm always dirty. Okay. Let's see if we can draw this guy on here. All right, what I basically do is lay it pretty close to my picture. I'm not going to use, I mean, since this is so big, unless I get a projector out and try and shrink it down to this size, you know, I'm just going to have to draw it on by hand. So what I do is maybe just do one at a time. I'm going to come over here and do this eyebrow, say, right? And I'm just going to sweep that down. Just like that eyebrow. What's with this pencil? Mechanical pencils. Hold on. Oh. Hold on. There we go. Sorry about that. I had to figure out all this new technology. You're right. Right. It's a stupid pencil. I can't get nothing to work in, nowadays. Give me an old regular pencil any day. So I made this eyebrow right here. Right. Right from there, I'm going to make a little hook. Just so I know. I'm going to come over here. Do the same. I'm going to leave a space between them. I'm going to draw that other eyebrow down and over. All right. And then I'm going to also have a little hook at the end of that. All right. Now I got to put the nose in between here. So I'm going to have to hold this up so I can see. I'm just going to come down about to there, I guess. It's going to be pretty skinny right here until I get to the bottom, and then he's going to kind of fan out. Okay. And if you're just starting, it might be good for you to draw a center line down this piece. Me, I'm just going to wing it. Okay, so that's about where I'm going to have my eyes. All right, I'm also going to bring this down and know that I want my cheeks about here because I want them to stay to where I can cut him in on the sides. I don't want to make the face too big. All right. This right here is just going to go over. Up in here is where we're going to put him in to the wood. So I'm going to put that little cut right there up here. All right, and then we'll do his mouth and stuff, because there's really not too much to this guy here. So what I'm going to do is come over to the cheek like we did in the drawing. I'm going to kind of bring that mouth and draw it in. And we put it over to the side here. gets about up to there. And I'm going to have to clear some of this off so I can finish this. Hard to hold in my hand here. That's right, I'll redraw that on. I want to keep shaping this to the sides, rounding it over. All right, I don't want them real flat. Don't worry about that mouth, I'll just redraw it. Should have cleared the whole piece off before it started, really. Thought I had enough room, but this is a pretty small piece of cottonwood bark. So we'll just redraw that on. Well, I will anyway. You guys put the carving on, the drawing on the piece any way you want. Okay. Let's try that again. All right, this mouth is going to come down and over. It's pretty thin here. Something like that. Okay. That might even come over here a little more, we'll see. And what I'm going to do after that is bring the bottom part of his mouth over. Usually I'd just look at the picture if I have one. I don't really draw too much doing this for you guys. And up in here, I'm going to do the eyes. After I get them sunk in, I'll draw the eyes in because it's just a lot easier. But that's pretty much what I'm going to start with. Okay? Now, I'd rather use my knife to do cottonwood bark and some hand tools. But I know you guys keep asking how to do one of these with power. So I'm going to try and accomplish this with power for you. And we'll see what happens. But like I said, mostly prefer to use hand tools, especially when I'm carving characters like this. I just think it's a lot better effect. And I'm old school that way. So let me see. I got some pretty small bits in my Dremels. Let me change up and we'll get back to a bit that we can cut this out. I noticed it'd probably be a little bit hard for you guys to see it with the pencil, so I just quick outlined it with a thin marker so you can see actually what I'm doing here. I don't have any details really on him yet. What I'm going to do is make sure I have these eyes deep enough so that when I do carve him, I'm going to have enough depth and everything, and I'll put my details on later because I'm going to hollow these eyes out and sink them in pretty good because I want this cheek here to stand up. All right, so I want them dug in pretty good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the four of them, and all I have is a little tiny cylinder bit on. All right, it's just regular Dremel bits I'm using for this. All right, and I'm just going to start cutting him in a little bit. So here we go. At one point now, I'm just etching right now, like I said before in many videos. I'm not going too deep. I'm not taking this and digging it straight in. I'm using it from the side and just kind of outlining right now, okay? Okay. I'm trying to keep my lines. I'm not digging. All right. Just going to the side. I just want to get these details in, and then we'll scoop them out with a different bit, and we'll get some depth. And we just want to make sure we get them lines in. You could wood burn him also and keep your lines, and then start going around as you start to carve. All right. Let me do the mouth quick. Okay, so I got the basics etched in here, right? Hoping you guys can see that. My phone's way above me here, and I'm trying to see. But I got them etched in. Now I can start figuring out how deep I want to take them. Like when I want to make these eyes here, I want to punch those in pretty far, because we want these cheeks here to be above where we're sinking those eyes in, all right? And the mouth here, I left the wood in the middle because we got to make his teeth, and then before we do that, we'll punch that stuff. We won't punch it, but we'll slide it up. And that I just may use my knife for, so I can get it in there clean and just kind of roll the tips up and put all that underneath that basic first cut, and then we'll make a nice clean stop cut and get it to go in there really nice. All right, so that's what I'm doing here. I'm just kind of taking the inside of that mouth down and putting it inside that little cut that we just went around, just to start them off. And you'll notice without a stop cut and just that bit, it's going to be all dug up here, all right? But if I actually took my knife and I made a stop cut and then cut into that cut, all right, then he'll start cleaning up and we can round everything over. Can also make a cut with a small bit, but since this is cottonwood, it's pretty easy to just run your knife through it. Like I said, usually I would just do this with hand tools and just blast it out and really make them cool. I just like hand tools so much better. More control over what you're doing. But for the power carvers out there, and everybody that wants to do stuff with power carving, can be done either way. All right, so now I got that down a little bit, and I want to make sure that I have it pretty clean and smooth before I draw my teeth in. Okay, so clean it up anywhere you have to, and we're gonna start putting his teeth in. All right, this video is a little long, so I'm gonna have to cut it here and ask you guys to join me in the second part of this video, which you can find right here on the end screen, and we'll finish carving this guy up and see what he looks like. So join me for part 2 coming up next. See you then.